If you're a big swim team and you like to order a lot of gear, maybe you ought to check out Swim Outlet Team Division for these reasons. Swim teams receive a 10% discount on bulk orders. Swim teams or organizations get an 8% commission on referred sales. You'll also like their customization services, which is affordable and available at all times during the year for all team gear. With over 50,000 items in stock, you can get most anything you want. Swim Outlet Team Division. You need to try it out. You'll be glad you did.
This is the Morning Swim Show for Thursday, November 29, 2012. I'm your host, Tiffany Elias. Our guest in the Finis Monitor is proving to be another threat on the Texas A&M roster. Sarah Henry has already posted a midseason time that not only would have won NCAAs last year, but came very close to the NCAA record. Joining us from College Station, Sarah, welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Well, you are off to a great start this season. Still quite a bit to go before we reach NCAAs, but posting some remarkable times. Good job.
Thank you very much.
So in particular, let's talk about your 500 freestyle performance at the Houston Invite. Now you're a 4:33 and this is at a mid-season meet. Let's just put this into perspective. Haley Anderson won NCAAs in a 4:34 last year. Now we didn't see Allison Schmidt in that event, but she does hold a record at a 4:32. What are your thoughts at being 4:33 at this point in the season?
I'm just very excited. It was quite a surprise to me when I touched the wall and looked at the scoreboard, but going into Christmas training now, I have to sit down with Steve and reevaluate my goals a little bit, but it'll just keep me going when things get hard in these upcoming months, and hopefully I will be faster at the end of the year, but I'm not worried about placing. I just want to go best time, so we'll see. So
you said that you were shocked when you saw your time. What was your goal going into the event?
Our goal when we rest for an invite is just to try to get invited to NCAA. So I was going for an A cut, but by the end of the season, my season goal was a 36, so I have to look at that again.
Wow, definitely going to need to reevaluate. How much would you say you were rested for that meet?
We came down a little bit on that Monday, and then but we still had doubles, and then Tuesday we had one practice, so we went back up a little bit. But it was a good rest, and then Wednesday we just went to the meet and did a meet warm-up, and then got ready to go on Thursday. So it was a good rest, but it definitely wasn't anywhere close to what we would do for a conference or NCAA.
That has to be extremely motivating. So definitely need to reevaluate those goals, being that you crushed it. Like you said, you just want to go a best time. Do you have any thoughts of what that might be around now, or do you need to talk to Steve about that a little bit more?
I need to talk to Steve, and think I've been underestimating my abilities recently. So especially after this summer, I need to have a little more confidence in myself and set no limitations. So we'll just give it a go, and whatever works out at the end of the season works. But I still have 2 years after this year. So.
Well, what's interesting, with 2 years left, you actually redshirted last year. So why did you take that year off?
Well, I tore my ACL and MCL and meniscus after my junior year of high school. And then after my freshman year at A&M, I re-tore it, and it was terrible. So I had to go through the whole procedure again and get reconstructive surgery, and it just was the decision, personal decision, and I sat down with Steve and talked about it, and I thought it was in my best intention to take the year and recover.
Well, based off what you've already done, it sounds like that was probably a good plan.
Yeah.
You've been able to fly under the radar now with Texas A&M getting so much attention from Breeja and Cammile after the Olympics. Do you feel like you've been able to just fly under the radar, and now it's your chance to step up there and show what you're able to do?
I have. I think, well, they got a lot of attention for good reasons, and I was sitting in the background, you know, and I didn't have to go to meets last year, so I would come in and do a little extra cardio and stuff, and so the hard work is definitely there. It incredibly disappointing that I had to redshirt the year and start all over rebuilding muscle and stuff, but I'm just ready to let go and see what happens. So far so good.
Are you back to full speed as far as strength goes in the water? Or do you feel like you've healed from your procedures, or is there still a bit of rehab going on?
Well, since it's my second ACL, I'm going to have a chronic knee pain, so there's always the pain that's there, and my range of motion in my knee isn't back. It wasn't back for the first surgery, and it definitely is way worse than it was for the second one. So my breaststroke has taken a little bit of a hit, but I have to, I can't do a lot of starts during practice, and I'm not allowed to run stadiums, and I have to modify things so that I don't get any tendonitis and so that I don't re-tear anything again. But so we're really careful with that. But it's close to full percent, but it'll never be 100% again.
Well, maybe what's helping is something that A&M is putting in the water, because you guys have been doing phenomenal over the past year and really making a name for yourself. And now after the Olympics, and now proving that you guys have more depth to your roster. So it's a really great thing that you've been able to step up during these midseason meets.
Yeah, I'm glad to be back, and we're excited for this year.
So transitioning into the SEC, you have one conference meet under your belt. You sat out last year, but I would have to assume that the emotions going into the SEC conference have got to be a little bit different than before. What is that like on your team?
Well, anxious and excited. Going into SEC this year, it's at home, so people are going to be really, really nervous. And as long as we keep those nerves in check and we feed into our atmosphere, it's just going to be a great experience, and it's going to be so much fun.
So you think they'll be nervous for a home meet, or do you think that that's really going to benefit your team?
I think maybe the first session we'll be really nervous, but once we get our footing and we get going, it's just going to be lights out, and I'm very excited to see what's going to happen.
Well, I think the pride that A&M can bring with the students, and also just being able to sleep in your own bed is a huge thing for these big meets. All right, so looking ahead, you said you're going into Christmas training. Is there anything in particular that you really need to focus on in order to hopefully bring down that 500 time a little bit more?
I think right now with finals coming up and exams and stuff, Christmas training, I'm going to refocus on getting enough sleep and eating correctly. And since there's no class, taking that extra time to do some more cardio or some more stretching. And Steve's great about staying over after practice if you want, and we can work on some stroke technique and stuff. And since we have the extra time, it'll be just that much more beneficial to my racing at the end of the season.
Now, you mentioned Steve. Why don't you just take a few minutes to talk about Steve as a coach? We've already heard so many great things from Breeja and Cammile over the last couple months, and from all of his other swimmers. Tons of positive things to say about Steve, but personally, how he's affected your swimming?
Well, he is very down to earth, and I don't do very well with a coach that's in my face and yelling at me. So when I'm training with Steve, it's just positive reinforcement. I never get away with anything for stroke technique and stuff like that, and he's really great about getting splits and times and stuff like that. So great feedback all of the time, and he doesn't hold your hand, we're grown women and women, so when I made the decision to redshirt, it was pretty much my decision. He told me that either way he was fine. So he has been a great support with my decision for redshirting, and then when I swim fast, he doesn't let anyone's head get too big. So he's just a great support system and just an absolute joy to swim for.
Well, after your performance so far, that has to be really positive reinforcement for the decision that you guys made to redshirt. and another force to be reckoned with on that Texas A&M team. So we are definitely excited to watch your team all the way through NCAAs and the next 2 years to come. Before we close, I had read online that the worst job you've ever had was coaching swim lessons. And I found that to be extremely funny because so many swimmers transition into the coaching. Is that not going to be on the agenda for you after you graduate?
Oh, absolutely not. I'm actually a physics major, so I want to do research after I'm done swimming. So if you give me my own room with a closed door and a whiteboard, I will be the happiest person alive. So I don't really enjoy interacting with children or anything, so I definitely, that will not be the route for me.
That's too funny. Well, a closed off room is the opposite of a pool full of obnoxious kids. So either way, best of luck to you. We're excited for you this season, and good job so far.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Sarah. That is Sarah Henry in the Fneece Monitor. That will conclude today's morning swim show. Make sure to follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with all the latest news. I'm your host, Tiffany Elias. Thanks for watching.